It is August 17th. I missed last week, but I was on vacation. So my wife and I went down to the CrossFit Games in Texas. Very, like something that she wanted to do for a long time. So it was great to be able to do that. I'm not gonna talk in detail about some of the stuff that happened there. Like if you know about CrossFit, something happened at the very beginning of the games, and there's a lot of controversy and obviously upset people and saddened people. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. I think trying to compartmentalize that and focus on just the fact that we got to go have this experience was good. We enjoyed our time in Texas, so I kind of had two back-to-back Texas trips, which is pretty fun. So definitely explored a little bit more food this time. So we had some barbecue food, but yeah, overall, it was good to go down there. So I don't think I've convinced my wife to move to Texas, but yeah, it was a good time. So I had that going on last weekend. Tried to get ahead on YouTube videos and stuff, but I think I still fell a little bit behind this past week when I came back, which is okay. But yeah, I'll kind of leave that. That's the vacation stuff. Work this past week was uh, good. I missed going into the office Monday because my vacation still continued Monday. Just like, yeah, we're kind of moving full steam ahead in a lot of directions. I'd say, like, definitely in the groove of stuff for across the different, we call them like feature crews, like little teams within teams that focus on different areas. So the few feature crews I have, we're moving, all cylinders firing, but there's a lot of stuff to do, and a lot of the folks on my feature crews are pretty new. So I was hired in and they were hired in like right after me, kind of thing. So some of the more, we got really like solid team for sure, but a lot of the more tenured folks are kind of working in some other areas trying to make progress. So it's a balancing act, right? It's just trying to make sure that I'm not taking too much attention from people to go focus and help as other people are ramping up. So pretty typical challenge with scaling and growing teams. It's nothing that I haven't seen before, nothing that I haven't helped work through with people, but it's just one of these extra layers that when we talk about software engineering management, like a lot of the time, I feel like people don't think about this. It's not just like one-on-one conversations and stuff, although that's a huge part of it too. And speaking of which, starting on Monday, they'll have performance rewards and that kind of information and stuff released for managers. So I'll have a busy week next week, kind of doing those conversations with my team, which will be good. I'm excited. It's nerve wracking for me because of the first time doing this with my team. I don't feel like I don't have anything that uh, is like negative or anything like that I have to be concerned about. It's not like I'm anticipating a really hard conversation or something. The reason that I get a little bit nervous is because like I feel confident that I know the people on my team understand that have good trust working relationships and all that. So this is the first time that as manager and individual contributor that we're gonna have a conversation around like money, right? Uh, and we've had conversations like with people on the team like promotions and trajectory. So that's fine, but this will be the first time where we sit down and it's like this is the official result of that, right? So that can be tricky. I came in as the manager for them partway through the year. My manager was their manager, and just kind of carved out some of the team to report to me. So I think he's done a tremendous job. I know they all really look up to him, so I tried to carry that forward. Got his feedback and stuff as well. It's not like this is something that I personally cannot stand. And I try to do everything I can to make it better. But when you switch managers and you're partway through a role, every manager will say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Like it's not going to reset your progress." It does. So I will do everything I can to make sure that it does not. And I say that it does because it's happened to me twice now. So I switched managers very early on, and I basically took on an entire second team and had that going, brought on a manager again, and and it's not that they weren't sticking up for me or anything like that, but you kind of lose the, what's the word, like the continuity is kind of lost, right? So when you don't, at this level, for me at principal level, when you don't have people like constantly kind of putting you in front of other people, the visibility gets limited. So um, one could argue like, oh well, it's on me to go do that, but this is where like I don't I don't like that about big tech at all. In fact, it's like one of the most um, distracting things about big tech. I would say is like constantly trying to feel like, okay, if I want to get promoted, I have to make sure I'm doing stuff that's very visible in front of people. Um, so if I've been brought on to go do stuff and I nail those things I'm doing that I've been tasked with, like literally like brought on a second team that was completely understaffed, uh, and then had that working totally fine, like doubling my entire workload and doing it successfully. How is that not like something that's noticed, right? And then as a result, like switching managers, it kind of just like kind of gets forgotten about. Like, yep, that was good that you did that, but like, what's next? What's more? So I really don't like that. It's hard to blame people, but going back to my team, I want to make sure that that never happens to them because I think it's completely unfair. So next week, I'm hoping will be really good. So that's going on for work. BrandGhost stuff. We had, man, Facebook and Meta has been the absolute worst experience I've ever had in software development for trying to make progress on something. And that's saying a lot because I used to run a team that would do like basically like reverse engineering or exploit detection for mobile phones to try and extract information, like stuff that no one has done before that would take months. And this was significantly worse. And it was significantly worse because you have to give instructions to Meta uh, in terms of like steps to take with a video with no audio. You can annotate the video, and then they go do those things with your application, and then they give you a pass or fail. And they give you feedback, but it's very generic, like we couldn't do it. Now, for over a month, we had functionality that was working because we had it in our application using it, and we have developer accounts that it works for. But we can't turn it on for public users until they sign off on this. Now, in that over a month period of time, we didn't change code. And we kept just resubmitting it and telling them to go change things, like change the steps they're taking. And that's because they weren't taking the steps that we told them to do. So after all of that effort, they're just doing whatever they want to be doing. And how do we know this? Well, our front end is able to basically track the user's actions, and we can get a video created to see literally what they're doing. And we would say things like, you're already, your social accounts are already connected at this point, just for an example, right? All that you need to do is go press this button with an arrow pointed to it, press this other button, type in these fields, and you're good. And we would watch the recorded video after they said that they couldn't verify anything. And the first thing they did was not the actions that we had listed. They started removing the social accounts. And then they said, hey, we can't add them back. And they couldn't add them back because they didn't have instructions. It's not because it's not obvious to them, they just don't have instructions for it. So we're trying to figure out if it's like AI or some type of automation that's doing this stuff, but it's been awful. And we just kept resubmitting it, and finally they approved it without us changing code for over a month. So that's out of the way, but that delayed us a month. It's just like inexcusable. I just can't believe that process. And we have Threads to do next. And Threads is owned by Meta. So apparently the process is slightly different. I can't imagine it's going to be better based on what I just saw. But that's okay. So we did open up, we're going to do like a mixed beta for our whitelist of users. So we have a bunch of users that signed up for a waitlist. I'm going to do a white glove approach where I manually onboard those individuals because we don't have a content importing pipeline built. We want to build that experience. but that's going to be difficult and sort of costly from a development perspective. So we want to basically, the idea is do what's not scalable. Sounds kind of funny, but I'm going to manually do that process for them. So I want to hold their hand, say, hey, look, you explore what you got going on here. I want to make sure you see the value. I will go bring your content online for you. It doesn't scale, but hopefully it gets them to see the value sooner. So we'll do that, and then we're going to onboard some of the other users that don't get like the white glove onboarding experience. And it's not because we don't value those users, it's just because it's not scalable. And I have some contacts that I know especially are already publishing lots of content. And to me it makes sense to like try and get that more targeted audience in place. So we're going to try that out. We started doing that, but it's kind of like over the weekend and stuff. So some people were reaching back out and saying, hey, like, cool, I see it. Like, I'm going to, dive into it on Monday kind of thing. So pretty cool. Happy about that. What else is going on? That's BrandGhost. Oh, this is totally like another life update kind of thing. I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the last videos. Maybe not, because I missed last weekend. Yeah, so I probably haven't said this, but so I go to the gym. Been going to the gym for 21 years consistently. By the way, our cats are also loose upstairs now. My door's closed, but they're mewing at the door, going meow like they want in. I gotta put that sound barrier back up because they're gonna make some noise. But I had this experience. My previous gym shut down, and I switched to a new one. And I had this experience. I'm not gonna say the name of the gym, but I went in. So I've been going there for maybe a couple months now, or something like that. And one of the guys, it's like the only trainer there slash the only person kind of working during the day. I have a feeling it's like the owner's father or something like that. And he said, hey. And I said, hey, because he says, hey, every time I walk in. And he said, hey, we got to talk for a second. So I said, hey, what's up? And he said, last time you were in here, you didn't put away your weights. And I know I did, because I always do. Been going to the gym for 21 years. I always put my weights away. And I said, yeah, I did. And he said, no, you didn't. And I said, okay, no problem. I said, they got video cameras all around, and he's told me they watch them. So I said, yeah, just show me the video. If I messed up, that's okay. I just want to see the video evidence. And he said, nope, I can't show you that. And I said, so you don't have video evidence? And he's like, look, we're not, like, I can't do that. Kind of shaking his head. And I said, well, I put my weights away. I said, because he was telling me it was on one of like the bench press, and I can remember it. It's been over 2 weeks now. I literally took the weights off of the bench press because there's so few plates at this gym, and I moved them to the next machine. And then I used another machine after that and had to move the weights again. So like I know that I unracked them from the machine, he said, or from the bench, he said. So he was like, no. And then he said, Nick, like, you've been doing this every time you've come in here. Like, he's like, it's an ongoing thing. And so he's like doubling down on it. And I said, that's absolutely not true. I said, there was one time, and this part's true. I said, there's one time where I was using the leg press, and I went, because it's on the opposite side of the gym, and the pins for it, I can't even show you on the camera. The pins are probably 2 feet long where you put the plates onto on an angle so the plates catch. So I said, there was one time I had a couple of plates on the leg press, and I was coming back to it after using the squat rack on the other side of the gym. And I said, you called me out for that. And I explained exactly what I was doing. No one goes to this gym. It's like dead. So it's not like it was high traffic either. And he was doubling down saying, nope, you do it every time. So I said, look, if you can't show me the video evidence, I'm happy to go switch to another gym because I'm not going to put up with this. So he started backpedaling a little bit. And I said, well, if you can't show me the evidence, I said, I'm not putting up with this. I'll go to another gym. And he kind of was like, oh, so I said, no, that's fine. So I left, and I canceled my membership right away. Left them a good review online. And I told my wife I'm starting CrossFit with her. So it's a new thing I started this past week. And the first workout, I got 3 minutes in and was basically blacking out and had to sit down for the rest of the workout. It was awful. So I am officially enrolled in CrossFit now, and I'm going to be doing that. And it'll be a good challenge. I have a long road ahead of me before I feel comfortable doing it. But yeah, just wanted to kind of give you another little bit of extra behind the scenes stuff we don't normally get to see on the YouTube videos and all that. So otherwise, Dev Leader stuff's going good. I've been doing interviews, of course, for the podcast style thing, and kind of fell behind a little bit. Like I'm like 6 weeks of releases behind, and I had another one today. Um, let me finish this thought. I had so I have to. I'm getting my video editor to kind of take over the podcast editing. So it's pretty quick for me to do, but it's still one more thing for me to do, and I'm just gonna outsource it. Um, so that'll be good. So he's got 6 of them I have to record after this little video. I'm gonna record all the intros for 6 of those. Be good to get that out of the way though. Plus, he's awesome to work with. I got so lucky finding him. He's like, could is there a better video editor? Sure, there's always going to be better, right? But like, um, he does exactly, what I think, and like we've agreed, like what would be good. He's super easy to work with. Love the pricing. Like, everything about working with them is awesome. And when I say, is there someone better? Like, I'm thinking, like, could someone make all the video tutorials more flashy and stuff? Like, sure, but like, is that actually better? Like, it's not for the style of content I do. It doesn't make sense. So, he's truly just awesome to work with. So giving him this extra thing is, I think he's happy with that. It's more work, and I'm happy because it's one less thing I have to do. And in fact, I have him doing the second Dome Train course. That was the other thing I was going to mention. So I have one that I'm wrapping up next couple of weeks, and he's been editing that along the way, which has been super helpful. Just, it's such a relief to not have to edit stuff, so I'm happy about that. And then I started the second one, which is also due in a few weeks. And I'll share this part. It's split in half, so I'm only doing half the course, and someone else is doing the other half. But we'll have 2 Dome Train courses launched in the next little bit, which is super exciting. I'm very happy about that. That's Dome Train. That's some podcast stuff. Getting close to 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I'm happy about that. It's been a journey. Switching back from WPF to ASP.NET Core, general C# stuff, literally had a dip as soon as I went into WPF and started recovering as soon as I switched back out. So, not a popular topic, maybe not the right audiences it's getting fed to, which is fine. Which is interesting because I feel like more people were engaged on those WPF ones. Like, a lot of people were commenting compared to normal. So it just kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, I'll be kind of switching gears back to that. Periodically, if there's a WPF thing where people want some content, I can jump in on it. But that's been good. I still have not been writing blogs again. I need to make way more progress on BrandGhost. I just don't have time for it. That's one of the things that dropped off. So not a fan of that, but something's got to give. So I think that's it. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So a little bit late on this one, but I'll put it up on the YouTubes right after. And thanks again for your support, and I'll see you next time. Take care.